I'm Steven. That's JJ. That's Erock. We are from Just Got Played, and we are here to talk about the new version of Kraftwagen, Kraftwagen Age of Engineering. So the original Kraftwagen came out in 2015. This new version is coming out in 2024. We got an early preview copy from the publisher. So thank you to the publisher for sending that to us. I'm going to go to the table now. I'm going to show you how the game is played, a little bit about what's new in the new version, and then we'll come back and we'll tell you what we thought about it.
In the new Kraftwagen Age of Engineering, you are running a car company in the early 20th century in America. So I got a note here that this is a sample. Some components and pictures may differ from the final product. So, what you see out here is close to what the final game is going to look like, but not exactly it. Don't know, what the screen printed pieces are going to look like, but we will find out. Okay. So in the game, you're trying to improve the reputation of your company. Reputation is basically victory points. And you're going to do that by, attracting buyers to market. You get points if you're one of the first people to do that. You get points for racing your car. So the number of laps you complete are worth points. And then also your position at the end of each round. The game is played over 3 rounds. And then also when you sell a car, you get points according to the price that was sold. And if you sell it to a price-conscious buyer, you actually get double those points. All right, so let's look at what some of the actions in the game are and how do you play. So these markers I've set up for 3 players here. These are the player markers. And whoever is in back, it is their turn to go, and they can go as far forward as they want. So for instance, the red player could decide, what I want to do is I want to build an engine. So they will take this action, which is construct an engine. And if you look on their player board, they currently are at level 1 on the engine tech. So they could take a level 1 engine and they can put it in one of the 3 bays for their company. Now, during your turn, you do whatever actions are here, and then you can always put a car out and market if you want. So they started with a level 2 body. So you can see that there. And they could put a level 1 engine together with that body, and they could put a salesman together with that, and they can put that car out to market, and then they just need to choose a price. So in the second and third round, the prices are higher, but they could choose a price. Let's say they just want to choose 6. And so now there's a car in the market. If ever all 6 of these spots are filled up, that's how a round ends. Or alternatively, if the buyers are filled up, then this starts counting down, and then that's another way that the round could end. All right, so let's say the blue player was next, and they really wanted to race their race car. So they could jump ahead and choose the race action. And if you look at blue's player board, they actually started the game with a level 2 engine, which they decided to slot into their race car. So they would move 2 while racing, but whenever you go to choose to race, you can also assign pit crew. So this guy, I could put that there, say permanently, and now they're going to go 2, 3 spaces. So I would go up here and I would find the blue race car and I would go 1. This space would be completely skipped because there's a car there. So 1, 2, 3. And there you go. Blue is off to the races. Next up is yellow, and yellow is in the back. So there's no reason for them not to take this free research action. That research action allows them to increase the tech on one of their things. So they could say, hey, I'm going to level up my chassis from a 1 to a 2. And now it's still yellow's turn because yellow's in the back. So they could jump ahead and say, all right, well, I just leveled up my chassis tech. Why don't I build a chassis? All right, well, now they get a level 2 chassis and they have room for it in one of their bays. And if you look at this, they can also, now that they have the pieces that they need, they could decide that they want to build a car. So, sorry, that board came apart there. All right. So they have a level 2 chassis. They have a level 2 engine. And they could even put 2 workers in there. All right. And so now, why do we care about what all the things are in here? Oh, and let's take a price. Let's say 5. Okay. All right. So at the end of the round, there are going to be buyers available, possibly some investors available to buy the cars that are here in the market. If this person will buy the car with the best chassis that is the lowest price. So in this case, there's only 2 level 2 chassis out there. So if this were the end of the round, they would actually buy this car for the 5 price. These buyers buy whatever is the best engine that is out there. Again, the tiebreaker is lowest price. This is sort of luxury, so the number of service people your car has allocated to it. And then, again, tiebreaker is price. And then this one, as I said earlier, they will buy the cheapest car that is left out there, and you will get double the points for it. Because when you sell a car, that's how many points you get, the price for it. All right, so yeah, again, those are how you get the points. Now, there's some other things on the board, some other actions on the board. So this is one of the newer ones, this one. So you can see you get to choose which of these things to do. You can move your race car 3 spaces. You can get 2 workers. That's what that symbol is. Or you can get something from this board up here. So every round, whatever is up here is going to wipe, and 6 new tiles are going to be put out. And those don't refresh during the round. So each one of these does something different. So for instance, this is an engineer, Louis Chevrolet. He actually, if you have him, he will allow you to move 1 extra space every time you race. And when you get one of these guys, you also get one of these tokens. These tokens are useful when you do the research action. You can spend one of these tokens to bump up both of your things. These are investors. So investors, they end up going out here because they can buy cars after all the buyers have bought cars. And they also come with one of these tokens. These tokens allow you to put it on a car to say, I can sell that car twice. And this guy specifically says he will buy the cheapest car in the market that is engine level 3 or higher when it gets to him. And then these others are instant things, like instantly get a 3-level engine into one of your bays, instantly move your race car 5 spaces. The other thing I should note is here in the middle, these are a bunch of achievements. So these achievements say things like, hey, the first person to complete 2 laps on the race course gets 7 points. First person to collect 3 of those engineering tokens without spending them gets 7 points. The first person to have a level 6 chassis in one of their workshop bays gets 7 points. All right. So there you go. Those are the basic actions. And you can see as you get further along, some of these are double actions. You get to do 2 things until finally get to the end. There's actually 3 things on this one. So this is the symbol for attract buyer. So if you do this one, you actually get to race, attract a buyer, and improve the tech level of your engine or your chassis. So that's not all the rules, but that's just sort of an overview of how the game is played. So let's go back up top and we will tell you what we think of the game.
All right, so there you go. Kraftwagen, Age of Engineering, now set in America instead of Europe, in a slightly different time period. But, I appreciated that in the art. But before I get into what I like about the game, I'm going to give you guys an opportunity because I'm a big fan of this game. So, Erock, what is it that you liked about this game?
Well, first of all, I am sad to say that I never did get to play the Kraftwagen that Steven was always raving about in all our videos. But this did make up for it, and I hear that it might be a slightly better game. But I thoroughly enjoyed this. We played together at Dice Tower EastCon. I believe JJ has a live play video that he may be working on putting out at some point. But I thoroughly like this game. It has a lot of stuff going on that I really enjoy. It's kind of a combination of different mechanisms and systems, but what isn't? You know what I mean? It does have the last goes first turn order kind of thing that you see in a lot of games like Patchwork, Praga Capodromi. Yeah, like there's a lot of games that use that. That's a really cool mechanism that I like a lot. I thought it was going to be a lot more auction-y, but it's not really auction-y. It's really just, you go around and you make your choice and you do your thing, and you just kind of try to make the best choice from what the options are at the time without spending too much of your own time to make that choice and get the action done. I thought the game really worked well together. I thought the different pieces came together really well. And quite frankly, until I played Distilled, this was my game of the con. This was my favorite game of the con. More on Distilled at some other time. But I really enjoyed this game. I just thought it was very engaging. It made a lot of sense. Everything that you did really just flowed together. And while we played, Steven told us about, like, it wasn't this, but now it's this kind of thing, the differences in the game. I never played the first one, but I really like what they did. I like that, I don't know, what is it, the specialist market or something? whatever, that's really cool. That's a way to get maybe more people, more buyers in the market, or maybe a way to just increase your own engine somehow. That's really awesome. There's only like one of those pieces on the whole like rotational rondelle thing or whatever, so that's really in high demand. But those are really big game changing additions that you can make to your setup there. So I had a really good time. It's thinky without being too deep for its own good. And at the end, I had a great time playing with these guys, and I really enjoyed the game.
Yeah, I'm glad that you were able to bring that sort of perspective of where you hadn't played the old version of the game. Like, what do you think of just this game, standalone itself? But JJ, you had played the old one, right?
One time.
One time. Well, I mean, one time, that's enough to make a comparison. So what did you like about the new version?
Well, LJJ got to play the game twice during the convention, so now I am fully Kraftwagen expert. So I'm here today to explain to you how to play on Kraftwagen. It is a very good game, and we have a rotating wheel of actions, which is very good. Very good. The specialists at the top make up a big difference, as Steven told me that, reminded me that before there was the one action to get the technologies, and my voice is running out. Oh, God. And I'm back to normal. Okay, here we go. So, as Steven reminded me, because the one... Thank you for the air quotes. Very, very good. So, Steven... Yes! Who was going to break the noise things? That was just going to be all noise and sound effects. So, as Steven reminded me, because I had only played the one time, way long time ago, the big change was the specialist, which was very good because you had a different way. So before, you had to hit that one action and the available technology had to be there. So at least now with the specialist, I mean, they're an added bonus. You can win without them, but some of those powers are really good. And the fact that now with bumping up the technologies for the frame and the engine is a separate action. And also there's like 3 spaces for that you can do, which makes it so much better to be able to get to the 7th level engine or the 7th level frame before the game is over, which is very quickly, especially in the original game. Like in the original game, I was like, I'm not going to get to level 6 engine or level 6 frame both at the same in the game. It was like, now that's actually possible, especially if you get the gold color specialist, you can bump up both the technology tracks at the same time. So I do definitely like that. And they still have the rondelle thing that Erock was saying before, where you can choose your actions. I do like the fact it's a little bit different than other rondelle games where you actually move the actions, is that the more popular actions get moved to the end. So I like that fact in the game as well, because sometimes you have to make a decision. It's like, do I want that one action that's only going to come up like one time and let that same person keep getting it the whole entire game until they decide to upgrade something else or do a different action? So I like the decision making with that, because then it kind of changes up your whole thing. Like at the beginning of the game, I was racing a lot in the first round, and like halfway through the second round, and then towards the end, the other person let go of the specialist choice action. So I finally got to get more specialists and bump up my technology tracks at the same time, which is pretty nice. So yeah, I like the changes that they made with the new Kraftwagen, and then also it's in color now instead of just blue, which I had lost the fact that they were trying to make it blueprints before. Blueprints did not make any sense to me. I didn't understand. So now I understand, like, it's all in different colors and the different history, what era, whatever you want to call it, different decade now that it's all updated and everything. I would love to see a futuristic version. Can we get flying space cars for the next one? That'd be amazing. But yeah, rocket ships, Cowboy Bebop. Everybody's got their own little rocket ship to fly around up and down space. 100%. Yeah. So love the new version. Love that they kept the mechanics and just improved on it, making it all look pretty and all that there. So lovely.
Yeah, I really like it when this game was out for, I don't know, maybe 8 or so years before they started thinking about this new version. And, there's a lot of people out there, and they played it and they've said what they like, they don't like about it. The designers had time to sort of marinate on all of that. And then a publisher comes along and says, hey, how'd you like to take another crack at this game? Right? It's gonna be better, right? It's the original designer taking a crack at the game after years of feedback. And, everything you guys are saying was just a great improvement. One of the big things that people didn't like about the old game was the sort of randomness of that tech area, right? If you got the tech action, there were 2 cards there, and it might be an engineer, it might be a body or a worker or a engine tech or something, but it's just not a whole lot to choose from. And now it's changed where you can always go get the action to improve the level of tech of your engine or of your body. And that market, instead of just being sort of 2 random things, is 2 engineers and 2 investors and 2 instant tiles that are there the whole round. So what's there. Like, new stuff doesn't come out during the round. So, I think everybody who sort of had a gripe about that part of the game, the randomness in that part of the game, I think this will satisfy that for them. And I really liked the old game. It was one of my top 25 games of all time, probably, because what I really like about the game is the push and pull between trying to get your car out with the right price on it and get the buyer out, but everybody else is trying to compete and do that at the same time. And can you get yours out in a way such that you get more points than everybody else? And I love that dynamic, right? That dynamic between the buyers and the cars that you're selling. But what I love about the new version is that updated selection, the updated ability to do your research and have that broader market. Although, I think, and I don't know what it is, but I don't think we ever took the instant tiles.
No.
Every round. We always took the engineers or the investors, and nobody ever triggered that action basically a 4th time to take the instant one. Oh, actually, that's not true. The very first turn, I took one, or the very first round, because I took that get a body of a certain level, which gave me an achievement and let me sell that car. So one time. So I do wonder a little bit. Maybe that should be get into the things I don't like about the game. I found it a little odd that we didn't choose, and we never chose the instant things. We always chose.
I mean, in that case, unless you want to get one of the achievements, which I can't remember, were those in the original game the achievements or
the
not?
Achievements were, yeah,
they were. Okay, I just know since I played the game twice now, that the second time the instant abilities were not that good, because you could just like go around the track or do 3 bumps on the racetrack or whatever, and it's like I'd rather just get a bigger engine. There was one point I was trying to get you can get an instant like level 4 engine when it was like very early, but like I said, the person kept grabbing that one action and I didn't have a chance, and that was something I would have got, because I would just slap that in my race car and I would have had a level 4 engine. I wouldn't have had to worry about that for the rest of the game. So that would have been good. But other than that, it's like, do I want to upgrade my engine one time, or like go get 3 spots on the racetrack one time? So it's like, yeah, other than that, that was the only reason like we didn't do it either.
Yeah. I liked that, talking about the racing. I like that you can now take a bunch of your extra workers and make them your pit crew and sort of permanently improve your race car. I like that too. That was an addition in the new game that wasn't in the old one. But anyway, yeah. So I think maybe those instant tiles was maybe my dislike for the game. I mean, I really like the game, so I'm sort of reaching for something here. JJ, what do you think? What about the game did you not like?
Now you actually reminded me, I think, of another second dislike I had, but it's very very finicky with my dislikes. For most of the game, I enjoyed it very much. My only dislike maybe is the instance, but also they had it's like a very mechanical like quality thing, is that extra salesman. There's only one tile they let you get the extra salesman, so it's like, why is there one for every color? They could have just made it like a gray meeple, so that you just bring it out like with the rest of the tokens.
Well, the problem is if you put it on people would know it's yours anyway. So you're right.
Yeah, you have the actual specialist tile that relates to it, just like with the rest of the other tokens that go on with the gold specialist. But that's pretty much it. There's a little extra pieces which I hope they rectify when they actually produce the game, because the version you had and the more produced version had an extra money on the in the second round, which is like, where did that even come from? So it's one of the it's like a 10 too. It's not one of the ones at the bottom or the top. It says it in the rule books too, what numbers you're supposed to have. So it's like, why is that in there? Like, I don't know. It's just an extra piece.
Yeah.
So it was really
I'm sure
random.
that'll be fixed in the actual production copy.
Yeah, and I will say, playing with the fancy pieces, you got to get. I think right now, I just checked the Kickstarter. If you buy now, you get the free upgraded pieces. Get the upgraded pieces because it's just it's wood rather than cardboard, and they stick out on the board just a little bit more. They're just very fancy pieces to have. So yeah, that's one. Yeah, get that stuff. But yeah,
there might have been something else from the Kickstarter too, like maybe some extra tiles with additional art or something. I don't nothing that changes the game.
Yeah, it's very
I don't
fancy.
think,
The only other like real gameplay gripe I have is that the round immediately ends when somebody sells their 6th car, and it's like, no, I've been working all this time. It'd be nice at the end of the game you have like an extra, maybe sell it for half the cost or something, but everybody gets their turn to sell a car. But as soon as you get down on the hats, the round is over, and if somebody puts out their 6th car, the round is over, and it's like, I've been building up for this 7th level frame this whole time. I just need to slap an engine in there, and then I'll get all my money. But no, it's like, no, somebody just grabs the last car, the engine action or something, or frame, and then it just clicks over, and it's like,
see,
everybody at the table was like, it was funny because there was one slot left, and the person just needed an engine right before me, and everybody's like, do it, because I had a 7th level engine, and then there was 2 people the 2 salesmen that wanted the bodies, and I was like, oh, you jerk. But they were like, everybody on the table was like, it doesn't make sense to do any other thing, because then he sells something, and then you sell nothing. So it's like, let me sell for half price. There's a flash sale going on. Un flash sale, Mr. Bond. I must sell this car.
That's the part I love about the game, right?
Terrible.
Like, perfect is the enemy of the good. If you're waiting to put out the perfect car, too bad. You got shut out by people who put out some good cars instead.
It wasn't even that. It was like the fact the last round, all the engine actions got taken, and then all the body actions got taken. It's like, oh my god, come on now.
I mean, I got shut out the last round too. I didn't have a single car in the market at the end. I just couldn't get it together. I mean, I still won, but just
don't you feel special, sir? I got something for you.
but Sheldon, who is not here, pulled off the best play of the entire game, where he somehow had like a 6 or 8. He had like an 8 price car sell to a price buyer, got double points.
Yeah, it was
what?
ridiculous.
How did you maneuver that? That was amazing.
Oh yeah. And then you have the one specialist that you sell the car twice too, and that's like, if you can get that off too, it's like, sell 3 cars in one turn.
The person that sells you had the one that sells to a price buyer at 3 times the points too.
Yeah, that first game. Yeah.
But Erock, what is it, if anything, that you didn't like about the game?
Okay, so I like this game very much. But I'm going to come with a minor quibble and then a warning. Okay, so my minor quibble is I very much enjoy the last person goes next mechanism in this game. I like it in every game. However, I like it better when a specific action is tied to the amount of time. In this, it's completely player driven. So I might desperately need an engine, but if the 3 idiots in front of me keep taking them, no matter where they are, it just keeps pushing it farther and farther out, to the point that it makes it like unbelievably cost ineffective to try and get one. So there is a bit of maneuvering around that. And that's kind of my warning also to those of you out there. This is very much an old school Euro. These games are completely different, but this is very similar to Puerto Rico. Everything in this game is player driven, except a couple of tiles that come out every once in a while. And again, the gameplay is completely different, but that's exactly how Puerto Rico is. Everything in this game is player driven, except a couple of tiles. So that could get thoroughly on your nerves if you're not that type of gamer. If you like a lot of random stuff, if you like some dicey stuff going on, that's not this game. This game is very calculated. Everything that happens is because somebody made it happen. I like that. I also enjoy Ameritrashy things as well. I'm not, solidified in one side of this argument or not. It's just a warning to you out there. If you like big, splashy, random kinds of things that go on, this is not your game. And there's a byproduct of this whole thing is the more experienced player is going to win this game because it's all player controlled. So they have an advantage. They know how all this stuff works. They know what the relative value of the actions are. Should I go 6 spaces ahead and get an engine? Or should I just go 1 ahead so I can get another turn real quick, and get something that I don't really need that much, but it'll help me at the end? These are important decisions. Every decision you make in this game is crucial. And it's all player driven. So if somebody's playing better than you, just knows the game better than you, they're going to win this game. I feel like I did an incredibly good job because I finished right behind Steven on my first play. And I was like, well, that's about as best as I could probably get. That's probably the closest I'm ever going to get to Steven is that one single game where I was right behind him. I was like, oh my God, I almost beat Steve. I've never played before. This is great. But like I said, it's kind of a minor gripe about the way that the action selection works, just because I like it better, like games like Nova Luna, Patchwork, where if I take this specific tile, I'm moving 5 steps forward. And that's because this tile is that much better than the 3-step tile. In this, it's very arbitrary. It's arbitrary. And you have to figure out the value of things kind of on the fly. And there's no math for it. You just kind of have to intuit. Should I go for that? Or should I take the safer pick here and get a quicker turn? But overall, I thought it was fantastic, really. I'm excited to play it again. And, that's about all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I like the old version, one of my favorite games. This one's just better to me in every way. I'm going to give my old version away. I mean, I like it because it's classic to me. I've had it for so long and liked it for so long, but when it comes down to it, this new version is just better. It's just better. And if I were to find someone who was a fan of the old game, I would say buy the new one. A lot of times I'm like, well, you don't need the new one, or you don't need this new thing. If you've got the old thing, just play the old thing. But in this case, I would say, buy the new thing. I played Namiji at Dice Tower East, and somebody had Tokaido but hadn't played it yet, so they were playing Namiji with us. And I was like, if you like this, but you have Tokaido, just keep Tokaido, play Tokaido. You don't get to go buy another game, right? But this one, no, get this one. Even if you have the old, you'll get this one. It's good stuff.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
Good
give it away.
stuff.
Somebody will take it.
Yeah. Somebody will win it in my poker tournament in the fall.
There you go.
Somebody that JJ brings to the tournament.
You should give it to the best dressed.
Oh God. Ah, yes, yes, that's good.
All right. Well, I'm Steven. That's JJ. That's Erock. This has been Kraftwagen Age of Engineering, the new release coming out fall 2024 in Europe from Samaruc Games and in the US from Arcane Wonders. I don't know where it's getting distributed other places, but I hope it's distributed everywhere, including the moon. So, all right. If you enjoy our commentary on games like this, look in the description of the video down below. There's a link to our Discord channel. Discord is where we're recording this video, trying that out for the first time.
Thank you, Discord. Not sponsored.
Yeah, not a sponsor yet. But yeah, come in there, talk to us about games. We love to talk about games. Give us a like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. If you feel like you want to, then just go ahead. That does help us out. But until the next time, thanks everybody for joining us.
Bye. Have a wonderful time.